Morning, everybody. I'm working on a Mac today. Is this recording? Yeah, we're recording. I got an E7 Mac here today. We gotta take the fuel pump off. Fuel pump's leaking oil. The econo vents is leaking oil, so we're gonna reseal them. And this motor was rebuilt. It runs good, but he's thinking it doesn't have quite the power that it used to. So I'm gonna put an AB light on it, this is your AB light. Before I take it apart, I will pop that sensor out, put my AB pickup in there, and then get underneath. I'm gonna bring it up to my AB lights, and that tells me the initial timing on the pump, and I can look on the flywheel and see where this pump has been timed to the engine. I think there's a possibility that the timing's off on this a little bit, making it sluggish. But that'll give me pretty much a zero, a baseline where I can start at. And if it's off, I'll adjust the engine to where I need it so that I can reset the pump when I put it back on. So I haven't posted any videos in a while. My daughter accidentally broke my laptop, and I could do mobile uploads off my phone, or I could do it off of our desktop, I guess you call them, computer. I don't have the time. But I'm gonna get this AB light hooked up, and I'll take you with on that, and we'll see where this engine's sitting at. Alright, hopefully you can see over here. We'll try that. you how often I use it anymore. I don't even have a battery in it. So I gotta find a 9-volt battery. I'll be back with you. Alright everybody, we're under the truck. We got a battery in the light. I turned it around to get up on top dead center number 1. AB lights hooked up. I'm going to start turning this, and we're going to see the A is going there. The A light is on. Alright, now I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not. Yep, you can see it. See that paint mark there? Somebody was nice enough to mark the timing indicator, because on the valve cover this one is at 6 degrees before top dead center. Now when 6 degrees, there's normally a little pin in this hole, but this one no longer has it, but no big deal. When 6 degrees gets in line, center line on that hole, then that should be when pump injects. And you know that when the B light comes on. So let's see what happens. And they're very touchy. There it is. Now, I'm going to try to get you guys to where we can see it straight. That is at 4 degrees. 3.5 or 4. Timing's off. But that tells us what we need to know. I can pull the pump off now, set the engine where I need it to be. When I'm done resealing the pump, I can put it back on, lock everything down. I will retest again to make sure my timing is right, and we'll be good then. Alright everybody, I'll get some more footage. I'll get it while I'm taking the pump off. Alright, see you. Hey guys, yep, we're recording. I can't hear my camera anymore if it makes a sound or not. Real quick, while I'm dismantling this fuel pump, one of the things I don't use, I don't know if anyone's ever noticed it. See my container there? That is a bucket of fries, and that's my parts in it, all my bolts. And I don't use magnetic trays, and I'm going to tell you my reasoning for that. I used to build engines, worked at a Mack dealership and built engines. One of my jobs was crack testing internal engine components, Magnaflux. Now when I say we used to build engines, reconditioned everything that was reconditionable in them. When you're in the engine room, you might have 3 engines going at a time. I mean, I say 3, it could be more. We had other dealerships and other companies that would send us boxes of connecting rods to be reconditioned. When I say reconditioned, we would check them for cracks, we would resize the journals, press out the wrist pin bushings, put your new bushing in, broach it, and cut it for journal size. Along with resurfacing blocks, resurfacing heads, rebuilding, doing complete head rebuilds, valve seats, valve guides. I'd be cutting flywheels at the time. We were attached to the transmission shop where I would rebuild transmissions and rears. So there was a lot of stuff going on in a day. And one of your major no-nos for engine building is magnetizing engine components. The main way to tell if something is cracked was magnafluxing. So you were magnetizing it. What you would do is you'd run, say you were working with a connecting rod, you would run it through a coil, through an electric field, and that would magnetize it. You would check it for cracks, and then you would have to hold the item in the exact orientation that you sent it through the field in the first place, and you have to reverse it. You have to pull it back through the field to demagnetize it. Anybody that works on equipment or trucks, anything, you're going to see a magnetic drain plug somewhere along the line, somewhere along the time of working on stuff. And you see how it draws metal to it. If you have an internal engine component that is a wearable item, like bushings, bearings, anything, the last thing you want to do is magnetize it, because it's going to draw all the metal to it, all the fragments. And I have seen the inside of engines that have been magnetized and were not demagnetized. Unbelievable amounts of damage happens in a very short period. So, I do not use magnetic trays. I do not want to take the chance of magnetizing something. I don't care what it is. I don't magnetize. The only thing I use magnets for is to pick up a bolt that I drop, pick up a hose clamp. I do not like using magnets at all. There are little magnets that you can rub a screwdriver tip on to magnetize your screwdriver. Well, my thought process is if I stick a bolt and I throw a bolt in a magnetic tray and it rubs around in there enough, I'm going to put some kind of magnetic charge to it. And that is just not something that I want to deal with. I mean, that's just, it might sound like a little quirk or something, but I don't want to take that chance. So I just wanted to pass that on real quick. I got to continue on tearing this fuel pump out, and I'll get back with you guys when I'm resealing it. You have a good time. See ya. Alright everybody, I have the pump and the econo vents off of the C7. And what I'm going to show you is a common leak, a common oil leak on a Mack, but it's only after a mechanic has his hands in it. It is not a factory caused leak. And it happens after a pump has been changed, rebuild. I'll show you where we're at. This is your fuel pump, okay? This is your econo vents. This is what adjusts and it advances and retards the timing for your fuel pump for the truck to run properly. On an econo vents, you have two gaskets. You have two sealing faces. You have a gasket and you have an O-ring, okay? On the econo vents to the pump, you have one gasket that sits in here. Now, what happens, the cause of this can cause more damage than just the gasket going out. It can crack the econo vents. The reason that these oil leaks happen. This one did not crack the econo vents yet. What goes on is that is a very large fuel pump that sits in here, okay? Now, you have a stack of mounting shims right here that go on the back of the pump. They mount to that hole right there. When people take these off, you will sometimes get a mechanic that comes in under the pump and removes the bracket on the block instead of taking the one bolt out to get the pump off. And what happens is they don't get the bolt's tight. This one didn't even have the bolt in the back, and that bracket works its way back and forth. There are 3 bolts in there, and I have seen where they would only put 1 bolt in. That causes the back of that pump to start jiggling. It flexes that 1 gasket mount, and it causes an oil leak. So I have to do a thread repair on this and get the bolt back in that belongs in the back here, and that will tighten up the pump, secure the back half of the pump so it does not vibrate. Alright everybody. The Econo Vance is back in, the fuel pump's sitting back in place. I'm making shadows. I do not have the bolts tightened up. I just have them started. Yep, fingers down here. I have the back mount attached. I had to drill them out to, I put them at 7/16. So yeah, everything else on the truck's metric now except for the 3 mounting bolts for the back fuel pump. But they're at 7/16. They will not go anywhere anymore. So I gotta get the pump mounted up the rest of the way, get everything on, then I gotta set the timing. I'll bring you guys back when I set the timing, and I'll keep taping while I set the timing so you see how I do that. And for anyone that's saying, hey, Grimes is in the shop today. Yeah, I am, and it is 93 degrees in my shop today. It is overcast, we got like an inch of rain coming, but it is unbelievably hot and humid. So, fan's going, so it's keeping me a little cool. The rest of the week's going to be really bad. We're talking like 98 for Saturday. So, we'll see where it goes. But I'll get back with you when I set the timing. I got to get the pump all bolted in and lines, filters, everything back on this thing. So, see you in a little bit. Alright guys, set the timing on one of these. What you end up doing is once you get everything bolted in, up in the front of your timing gear, these 4 bolts, see if I can get my hand and not block it. These 4, this one, that one, that one, and that one. The gear is slotted. This is your main shaft going through the Econo Vance that splines into your pump. So what you do is you hook your AB light back into the pump. You put 12 volt supply to your AB light. You turn power on, and you get yourself a 24 millimeter or 15/16 socket on a ratchet, and you put it on the center. Alright, now you will turn the pump, because now that is free with the slotted bolts. You will turn the pump, A light's on, let's see here, B should come on very shortly. B light. That is timed. Alright, now, to show you how little I actually turn that, I'm going to take it back down. Alright. Now let's see if I can do this without dropping my sensor, my light. These are expensive to drop. Alright, now you can see my ratchet, you can see the lights. I'm going to bring that back up. Now, it is very low. There's the A light. All I did was just put pressure on it. There's my B. Sometimes you take the tension off of that and you will lose your B light. It is very gradual turning. So what you'll do is you hold that in place, tighten 2 of the bolts up. Actually, I mind you, that's on the older style. On this side, you hold that in place and you torque all 4 in. Crisscross manner. Okay? That's how you time a Mack E7. Alright, everybody. I gotta go.